All right, good morning this morning and welcome. We are so happy to be here, so happy to see all of you, so happy to do something in person. I feel like I've been staring at my computer screen for 2.5 years now.
It's true. This is true.
It's pretty exciting to be here. So we'll give everyone a second here if you want to find your seats, get that last cup of coffee, grab some of that food. By the way, that's fantastic back there. Well, thank you so much for coming out today. Good morning. Welcome to the 9th annual Made in Redmond tour. So if you don't recognize me, I'm Matt McDonald with Good Morning Central Oregon. This is my co-anchor, Lauren Biskind, and we're part of the Central Oregon Daily News team. We're so honored, actually, that we were asked to do this today. And you can catch us every morning, 5 and 6 a.m. on ABC and CBS. And it's kind of exciting because last year, I think Alan and Sam did this event, if I remember correctly. And they came back from this event and they were like, man, it was really cool actually to sit there and watch these things and go, I didn't know that was happening right here in our community. And that's a big part of what this day is all about, the annual Made in Redmond tour.
Yeah, lots of fun. As Matt mentioned, I'm Lauren Biskind, and we're really excited to be here with you all and to be in this beautiful space, the new High Desert Music Hall. Can we give it up for them for hosting today? Also, we're excited to see all of your faces, but we do have some friends that are joining us virtually for those that it kind of worked out better. So welcome for those of you joining from home or from the office. Thanks for being here virtually. We do appreciate it. We have to give a big shout out to Mr. Matt Hand back there. Most of you probably know him. He's been around for a bit, haven't you, Matt? Hand Productions, running the show both live and virtually. And also Courtney Latham, Flip Flop Sounds. We know him too, right? Another just always everywhere. I don't know how is he everywhere all the time, but he has helped with the extra screens and lighting and just got us all set up today.
So one of the things that we like to do on Good Morning Central Oregon, just to have a little fun, is to let people know what day it is. And I'm not talking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Did I miss a day in there? Thursday. It must have been that one that I missed, right? Taco Tuesday is my other favorite. So we like to let people know what day it is and have a little fun with it. Is it National Cookie Day? Is it National Pizza Day? Well, you may not realize today is actually National Manufacturing Day. And all across the country, people are gathered in different places. Though I can't imagine a better looking group of people than this one right here. To focus on how manufacturing impacts our economy, our world, and our lives. And today you're going to find out why Redmond has become such a hub for manufacturing here in Oregon and how Redmond economic development specifically, or as we better know them, REDI, I think everyone just uses the short term right there, has played a leadership role in getting some of those businesses here in Redmond. So let's start by showcasing who REDI is and what they do.
Home is where the heart is. It's where our kids go to school. It's where we work and play. It's where we plant our roots. And we're looking to build a strong future for everyone in the heart of Oregon's fastest growing region. And with your help, the possibilities are endless. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
At Redmond Economic Development Incorporated, we believe all business is big business. From startups just getting off the ground to established companies that continue to thrive. Each business that opens its doors in Redmond has a butterfly effect that uplifts and empowers the entire community by creating jobs, creating wealth, creating dreams. And with every dollar you invest into REDI, you help encourage economic growth here at home. And as Redmond grows, so does your business. So what are you waiting for? Are you ready to invest in Redmond's future?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Are you?
Redmond Economic Development Incorporated, guiding business forward for the past 34 years. Join us and become an investor at REDIinfo.com today, and let's build a future together.
I'm ready.
Okay, Matt. I'm ready.
I'm
Are you ready?
On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what we like to hear.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to hear from some amazing guests today, and I have to tell you, I got a little sneak peek. The past few weeks, myself and our videographer, Devin Carroll, we have been touring some really awesome Redmond businesses. And part of this, selfishly, we were able to broadcast this as part of the Central Oregon Daily's morning show. We do an origin story. If you haven't watched, it's worth watching, but it kind of gives us a chance to highlight the different businesses, business owners, and how they've turned their own passions into professions. And so the 3 businesses that we've been able to tour, and you're all going to be able to tour with us here today, have been part of that origin story. And it's just been so fun getting a chance to kind of see the inner workings and hear how their passions have really played out here in Redmond. So that's what we're gonna see today. And if you did miss, we've been doing the origin stories. We did one last week. Today was rhino skins. Next week is gonna be I3D, but centraloregondaily.com, they're all there. So it's definitely worth going back and watching.
And it's definitely one of the joys that you get when you get to work in the field that we get to work in, is you get to learn so much about your community all the time. And it's one of those things I think a lot of times people overlook is, hey, what's being made right here? So today we're gonna ask you to join us as we visit I3D Manufacturing, Rhino Skin Solutions, and Vocal Booth. Funny thing about Vocal Booth, we have a Vocal Booth from them at Central Oregon Daily News, and I had no idea that that was made right here locally until Lauren went out there to do the story. So kind of cool to have that, actually.
Really cool.
After each virtual tour, we're going to meet the founders of these businesses. We'll have them up here. You'll be able to ask your own questions either live. If you're watching at home, you'll be able to use the text bar online. But before we get started with that, there are some folks we need to mention because we know that success never happens in a vacuum. It takes a lot of folks to get these things going. Without the partnership of the city of Redmond, REDI simply could not do the work of attracting these amazing manufacturing companies. I see Mayor George Endicott right here sitting in the front. So let's hear from Redmond's Mayor George Endicott for his Mayor's Minute. Come on up, George. While you're working your way up on stage, the stairs are right over there. A few words here about Mayor Endicott. He's a 5th-generation Central Oregonian whose goal is to keep the quality of life we love as Redmond grows from a town to a city. He believes in managing this growth by attracting high-quality jobs and applying strategic economic measures to ensure we have an attractive, safe, and rationally thought-out community. And I'm going to add something personal here because I've known George now for 15 years. And it was right when I got into journalism, and we had a conversation on the phone, and he told me, Matt, if you're always fair, we don't have to agree. You just have to be fair, and I'll always take your call. And 15 years later, we're still standing here talking to each other. So I appreciate it, George.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Welcome to the stage.
Thanks. In fact, we had a conversation. I don't think this one's on. There you go. Yeah, we had a conversation yesterday, in fact. He called me and talked to me, and he calls me occasionally and asks for my input. And I think most of you know I'm never bashful about being able to express my opinion on different issues. And I'm always honest, at least my version of honesty, which is the right one, I hope. Anyway, you know, this is the 9th tour, and I was talking to John about it a few minutes ago, and I think I've been to every one. And a city who shall remain unnamed had a city councilor several years ago that said, you know, we want the white-collar jobs. We'll let Redmond have the blue-collar jobs. And I said, yay, we'll take them. And you know what? Our economy, through all this that we've been through in the last few years, has stayed robust. And I think all of you deserve a shout-out for that. Our airport's back at capacity. I don't know, I drove by just the other day, and one of the symbols of that overflow parking lot from the rentals is now has over 100 cars in it again. So that means people are renting cars like crazy here. And of course, a little secret, that's one of our big funding sources for the airport, or revenue sources, is rental cars and of course parking. So we're back up at about 100%. As you heard, we just added another airline starting next month. So our economy is staying robust. I want to thank all of you for your contributions to all of that. And let's go check out the tour. So thank you very much.
Have you ever seen a politician with a mic take less time? That's amazing. I'm impressed, Mayor. Thank you, George. Appreciate it. No, we've talked about REDI already today and the work this organization does to create prosperity throughout our community and business development in Redmond, and really, to be frank, all throughout Central Oregon. Next, we'd like to welcome, where is John Stark? Where is he hiding? Oh, he's right there. Gosh, you're so tall. It seems like you wouldn't hide that easily. This is John Stark, the Senior Director for REDI, and while he makes his way to the stage, let me tell you a little bit about John. As REDI Senior Director, he recruits new companies to Redmond and supports the expansion of the city's existing traded sector businesses. On any given day, you can find him helping companies with business finance, site selection, zoning, facility development, product marketing, workforce training, employee recruitment, and much more. Whew, I'm out of breath. Do you do all that every day? That's exhausting. He's a past president of the Oregon Economic Development Association and was honored with the Economic Development Leader of the Year Award for Oregon in 2015. By the way, he was also Redmond's Mayor Citizen of the Year in 2019. So, John, come on up on stage. Please join us. Add a little color.
Hey, 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 how you guys doing? Glad you're here. So, just taking care of the responsibilities here. Glad to be here today, you guys. Appreciate it, Matt, for the introduction. And Lauren, thank you both for being here to help us with this great event. So that's a great video. And I was thinking, you know, I'm ready. I'm thinking, remember the dating game? Or maybe it wasn't the dating game, but it was, will the real ready please stand up? I'm ready. And Mary's ready, and our board members who are all here are ready, and really the full community here in support of our work is ready. And as most of you know, our mission is to create prosperity through community and economic development here in Redmond, and we've been doing that for more than 30 years here. And one of the things we recognize in our work is that economic development is really a team sport. No one organization does all the work. There are many hands, many different organizations, and projects that happen that spur economic development in a community. And so we wanted to create an award to recognize some of that work. We've been on a tremendous run. So later on, we're going to be giving some awards out or some recognition to these companies for their contribution to the Redmond community. We've created a lot of jobs with the help of these companies. There are 1,500 manufacturing jobs here in Redmond. That's 28% of the county's total employment in manufacturing. We're only 13% of the population. So we're doubling our efforts in terms of what we're providing here in Redmond to the greater job growth in manufacturing in the region. Manufacturing job growth is up 80% over the last 8 years here in Redmond. That number moves every year because we got some pretty big projects coming, so those numbers are going to go up. And then the wages collected by those companies is about 84% up over that same time period. That is 4 times the Oregon average and 10 times the national average. So Redmond's really leading the state in manufacturing growth here in Oregon. So what a great place to be. Great to be here to celebrate this with some of our companies, i3D, Rhino Skin Solutions, Vocal Booth. You get to see an inside look, for which I've had the privilege of doing over the last few years. So back to this award. So we wanted to recognize, because it's a team sport and we don't do all the work to help create and sustain our economy, another organization or organizations or projects in the community that help grow and sustain our economy here in Redmond. And in talking with Columbia Bank about this, they said, you know, how can we help? And so together with Columbia Bank, they've sponsored this award, the Thrive Award. We created this really recognizing, again, projects, initiatives, strategies that help grow our economy here in Redmond or sustain it. And so we went through a process, an internal nomination process. And we did this really looking at 4 different projects that were in our community. And one is deserving of the award I'll get to in a minute. And so our strategic planning committee, which is here in the audience, part of our board, reviewed 4 different projects. And those projects were Skyline Village. If you don't know about Skyline Village, it's a new home project that's up in Northeast Redmond. It'll be about 460 or so homes. That number might be off by a little bit. 400 homes, and half of which will be affordable, right? Meeting certain income criteria in order to help us with our current housing crunch that we've got. The other was Neighbor Impact hired a child care advisor, right, to help child care facilities start and grow here in the area. And so certainly becoming of helping us with our economy because child care is in high demand today. The other one was RPA, created a new childcare facility, so that was on the list as well. In the middle, just before the pandemic and then going into the pandemic, to create additional child seats for people here in Redmond. And the fourth one was Redmond Rallies. And Redmond Rallies was an effort, partnership between the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Redmond, really to help businesses that were impacted severely by COVID-19 and those that weren't impacted severely with different resources, whether it be personal protective equipment, masks, gloves, sanitizer, et cetera, or actually helping them navigate resources in the community. And so we created this award. Columbia Bank sponsored it for us. Chris, Kristen, and Kevin, raise your hand back there, are here from Columbia Bank, so if you want to hear more about our partnership, thank you. And through a nomination process and a thorough sort of vetting and screening process, we looked at these awards with our strategic planning committee to pick one. And today's recipient, and they're here in the audience to receive this award, is the Redmond Rallies team. And so come on up, Chuck Arnold, Brenda Turner, and Debbie Butler, 2 board members from the Chamber of Commerce, and Chuck Arnold. So this is the inaugural award. It's the first, right? We're going to do this every year. Again, recognizing that we're not the only ones doing economic development. So come on over, guys. City of Redmond and the Chamber of Commerce for Redmond Rallies want to present to you our Thrive Award, our first ever. Come on up. Thank you, John. Yeah, Chuck, you want to come over? Come on over. Congratulations. Come on in, guys. Put your hand on that if you can. Yeah. Tim's over there. All right, you guys want to say a few words? Feel free. Go ahead.
I'm a little short. As the board president this year for the Redmond Chamber of Commerce, we are excited to receive this award along with the City of Redmond. The purpose, or one of the things that the Chamber does, is support our local businesses and all of our community as a whole. So, and we will continue and strive to do that in the future. Good job.
Thank you, Governor Brown.
Love it.
Because the Redmond Chamber is so dedicated to serving our community and our businesses and helping those businesses be successful, it's a privilege to be able to help in this way during this difficult time. So thank you for the recognition.
When city staff got together and under our city manager's leadership and city council, it was really about this idea of what can we do? What are we empowered to do? So one of the most easy things that we could do is work with the state, work with other resources, the county, and pull down PPE to help give people the tools to succeed and protect themselves. And over the last 2 years, we've distributed over 310,000 units of PPE. We have protected over 400 businesses, over 3,000 employees and their customers. We've connected people with loans and other resources in partnership, of course, with the Chamber and others that have helped out on this. And it's the idea of this Redmond Rallies really lives on. It's really about what can we do in our community to help pull together and make things better when we're faced with adversity. So we certainly greatly appreciate the award and the opportunity, and it is a team sport, and we're all in this together, all the cliches. Thank you.
No question that embodies the spirit of Redmond, right? Rolling up your sleeves to help thy neighbor, right? What a cool story. So glad to be here again today. So just one last thing. I appreciate you all coming to learn about these companies, be a part of this event. It's a big event for us. So nice to be here in person. So will the real ready please unmask? Nice to see you all.
I love it. Wow, great news. And without the community partners like Columbia Bank, without Redmond Rallies, I mean, Redmond wouldn't be growing and thriving as we know it is, right? Can we all agree on that? Yeah, definitely. So congrats. Thank you, John. Thank you, Columbia Bank. Thank you, Redmond Rallies. Keep up the good work.
Okay, Chuck Arnold, I got a question for you. Right at the beginning, Redmond Rallies, they were holding things. You could drive through, you could get your own PPE. I'm over there running a newsroom. We're desperately trying to find masks, hand sanitizer. I'm like, what are these guys mobbed up and they're getting PPE from somewhere? I don't know where you guys were doing it. You guys were handing it out like candy and nobody else in town could find it. Hats off to you guys because it helped a lot of businesses keep their doors open. And it was phenomenal back there at the beginning of the pandemic. At this time, we'd like to quickly introduce our title sponsor because, like I said, none of these things happen in a vacuum. REDI is able to bring you this manufacturing tour thanks to its generous sponsors. They continue to make it possible for REDI to support local manufacturers and broader traded sector industries. For that and so much more, we are so grateful. Let's hear first from our friends at BBSI.
BBSI Central Oregon is honored to be sponsoring Made in Redmond 2021. REDI and EDCO provide vital support services to attract and support businesses who, in turn, provide a sustainable economic base of high-quality, middle-class jobs. This is not an easy task. There are many moving parts, and BBSI is very proud to be part of this effort. We know how difficult it is for businesses to survive, let alone thrive. BBSI is a local, professional team with deep industry and functional expertise that provides HR consultation, compliance, and recruiting through our HR consultant, Sarah Lindsay, risk and safety consultation, compliance, and workers' comp coverage through our risk and safety consultant, Jillian Cornejo, and payroll processing and reporting through payroll specialist, Michelle Fish. We also have a unique approach to strategic consultation and business planning, where I personally work closely with you and your team. We've been based right here in Central Oregon for over 20 years, providing our services to more than 70 local businesses. Once again, a big thank you to REDI for all they do to help build business in Redmond and for putting on Made in Redmond 2021. We hope you enjoy this amazing event.
Did you say recruiting? Well, you know, I hear it's kind of hard to recruit people these days. So now more than ever, great to have a local resource right here, BBSI, to help with those recruiting and employment needs.
Whether you're buying, selling, renting, residential, commercial real estate, sure is strong, don't you think? Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe too much sometimes, I don't know. Our next title sponsor, Windermere Central Oregon Real Estate. They are the experts here in the local market trends.
Here at Windermere, we're extremely proud to be a part of REDI. It's just a really forward-thinking group of folks and an organization that, as you all know, strive every single day to bring forward-thinking businesses to Central Oregon, especially Redmond. It's important that we reach out to the rest of the West Coast and the world to make available this beautiful country that we have, this beautiful scenery, and bring businesses in. Our own Bruce Barrett is the head of our commercial real estate division, and he's been a past president of your organization and been active in the organization for years. We're really proud of him and the work he's done to make us aware of REDI, and we hope that you'll all enjoy today's event, get out and mix with each other, find out about what these businesses are up to, and encourage each other to participate more and grow this beautiful Central Oregon region.
After this event is over, you might go home, you might be sleeping under one of these roofs. Of course, I'm talking about Hayden Homes, and did you know they were voted the best place to work in Oregon in 2020? Speaks well probably to how they run their company as well. We'd like to thank them, welcome them, and say thank you for stepping up to support REDI.
Welcome to the Made in Redmond Tour. We are proud to sponsor this event that showcases the incredible work of REDI and the prosperity and business development they have created in our community. Like REDI, we are passionate about the Redmond community and its economic development. Hayden Homes built our first home in 1989 right here in Redmond, Oregon. 30 plus years later, we have grown to serve 65 cities throughout Oregon, Washington, and Idaho with over 20,000 happy homeowners. 1,700 of them have chosen to make Redmond their home. From the very beginning, focus at Hayden Homes has been on building a strong community by giving of ourselves and our resources to provide the essentials for families to flourish. We call it Give As You Go. This philosophy lies at the heart of how we serve our customers, community, and team members every day. We appreciate and will continue to support the ongoing work of REDI and welcome the new and future companies that select Redmond to call home. We look forward to meeting you soon.
All right, it's finally time. We're going to start the tour, and I'm looking to make sure, are we going to start in the same order as we had planned? Oh, good. Good news. Okay. So now we're going to start the tour. First, we would like to take you to i3D Manufacturing. i3D specializes in additive metal manufacturing where DMLS machines, now if you don't know what that is, that's okay. We're going to watch a video. You can take notes then. Using lasers and metal powders, print metal parts, i3D manufactures in 17 different metals, including copper, titanium, steel, aluminum, and super nickel alloys. Sounds like a Superman outfit right there. Some of these parts are made in Redmond, are currently used in outer space. Here's a little more about i3D.
Integrated 3D, also known as i3D, based in Redmond, is bringing additive into your business. It's additive manufacturing, and if you haven't heard of it, you're not alone. But CEO Aaron Stone has made it into a successful business right here on the high desert.
Additive refers to taking really fine layers or a material and layer by layer building up, adding material versus taking it away to create something. And by doing that, you can do things that you really can't in subtractive manufacturing. You can do organic shapes, conformal cooling channels. You don't have to be straight line cuts. You have a lot more options.
It's those options that make this type of manufacturing so appealing for big name business like NASA. But it was another space-based company that got them off their feet.
Our first real client were two different ones. One I couldn't talk about until the last couple of years, and that was Blue Origin. And that's Jeff Bezos' space company up in Washington. And it was very secret, and they didn't want anyone to know they were going to use additive. They didn't even have an additive shop yet. We were what they called Blue South, and they found us, and then we were printing in metal, and they print spacecraft parts. So we do rocket engine parts, those kinds of things. They've since brought a lot of what they do in-house, which is great. We help out when we can. But it was kind of a surprise because that was not actually part of our business plan. We thought we'd be doing mold tooling and that kind of thing. And then our second was a company called Delta P. And they're a Eugene, Oregon-based company. They hold 7 patents on some very specific defense parts. And it's all very military-based.
Using lasers to create unique parts that are customized to optimize performance. Now, much of what they do, they can't even talk about. Whether it's for a military defense part, spacecraft, or even a high-end titanium bike.
What I saw was this metal 3D printing was something that could be long-term production and really add to the United States' ability to kind of come back into manufacturing since we had offshored so much of it.
An idea that turned into a mission that turned into a passion.
I didn't expect spacecraft parts right away and NASA, and I didn't expect to literally be making things that when I was a kid watching Star Wars were the Millennium Falcon, like literally those thrusters that blow that out the back of that spacecraft. That's the kind of stuff we do. I didn't expect to be, I've always had a huge respect for our military, but I didn't expect to be able to be a part of being a solution to our soldiers' safety and those families getting them back whole, and that feels really good. So my passion now, or our passion as a company, is really around, we're a part of something bigger, and we're an integral part of that, and people come to us with really difficult projects, but if we can help them get there, the things that we're creating and the pathways that we're helping them trailblaze are just absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about John Stark as an individual and his vision for what he built. So advanced manufacturing, could he just recruit people that are all technically, but none of us really share synergies or the need? So he doesn't just bring in, say, i3D, but he knows we need heat treat, and so do some of the other manufacturers that have come. And so then he starts and he goes out, okay, do we have somebody who either wants to take that and add that to their operation, or do we want to recruit a whole nother company to come in and say, hey, we've got a nexus here of companies that need this, why don't you come take advantage of this? So he's really good at listening to us and our larger needs and what the larger community needs. He then connects the dots with education. And how do we get a work flow or a work source of employees coming through? What's that flow really look like coming out of the high schools? And what do we need from a higher education perspective? And those kinds of things. And so he connects that dot. He's really good at just bringing all of the pieces of the puzzle together. And his team is excellent at taking that direction and running with it. And I can't say enough about how critical that is. We've been in some communities where that synergy wasn't as good. And it's hard, what makes it hard is you're kind of on your own. You're on your own to source everything or to find or to help recruit things. You're on your own to work your way through enterprise zone applications. You're on your own. You're just on your own. And that's okay, but when you're a small business, you don't have massive resources for those kinds of things. And so REDI really helps just the whole picture, building the environment, bringing in the resources, whether it's human resources or physical resources to help you go, economic resources. In this building, they helped coordinate with the permitting and all those things to help us keep on a timeline so that we financially, because we literally moved here in the middle of the pandemic. So getting up and running was really important because we were already struggling with what everybody else was struggling with. And so understanding that and really taking it seriously, REDI is such a huge part of keeping us a community. And then you're inspired, I guess, then to give back and to be a larger part of that.
That turned into a passion. Erin Stone has made i3D her origin story.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to Erin Stone, CEO of i3D Manufacturing. While she comes up to the microphone, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Erin. She founded, and am I saying this right? Is it AS 9100? Is that, or how would you say? 9100 sounds better when she says it. Certified company that was incorporated back in 2014 with the goal of bringing advanced, cutting-edge new manufacturing technology and true skilled family wage jobs here to Central Oregon. So please welcome Erin Stone.
I'm also height challenged. Am I supposed to?
Well, you know, actually, what we've got is a couple minutes for we've got a couple minutes for question and answers. Everyone's always shy to ask the first question, so I'll ask the first question, and then raise your hand. You can shout it out. I'll repeat it so everyone can hear it. You mentioned during this video you moved here during the pandemic. Why Redmond, and what got you to come here?
Short answer is John Stark, but we were supposed to be here originally. And then there was an absentee landlord, and they didn't have the kind of electricity in the building that was advertised, and they weren't willing to help us do that, and we were really startup. So we didn't have that in the budget, and we ended up in the Dalles. And we've been trying to get back here ever since. Just, again, the economic support, the community support, the educational systems, the recruiting efforts. We require a really high skill level, and we needed a wide range of also manufacturing expertise. And John just kept building that, and we just kept trying to get down here. We were in the middle of the build out of the building, and in March, everything just stopped. And we didn't expect that, but there was no way to go backwards. So we just kept going forwards. So it's worked so far.
Working so far. All right, who's got a question out there? Go ahead and raise your hand. There. Oh, John's got one. John, go ahead, shout it out. I'll repeat it for everyone. So the question was, how many machines and how often do they operate? Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Right now we have 9 machines. We have 7 machines that are basic standard size machines, and then we have 2 large size machines. They work 24/7 as long as the power grid's stable. And so we basically, once our model goes in and it starts building, depending on the length of the build, it might go 9 days, it might go 2 hours, just depends.
Do we have another question? How about right here, Dr. Klein?
So metal 3D printing is still a pretty new process. Where do you predict it's going to go?
I'm going to repeat that because we've got folks watching at home and I want to make sure they can hear it. The question was, metal 3D printing is a fairly new process. Where do you see that going? And am I characterizing that correctly? Where do you see that going?
The industries that right now have really made use of it are particularly, so aerospace, both commercial airline engines. If you look up something called the GE LEAP engine fuel nozzle, it's the Cinderella story for how what additive has been is really a rapid prototyping source until really metal and laser bed fusion in general, which also has a polymer version. Those projects involve highly complex parts that you can convert out of a traditional methodology because the efficiency you're creating, so in the LEAP engine fuel nozzle in aerospace, that was, depending on the story you read, a 19 to 26 piece part where it's now printed as a single part fully functional. So you're reducing assembly, but mostly what you're reducing is failure points and loss in fuel. And that savings was in the billions. And so that made that part something that, because printing is more expensive generally than traditional manufacturing, but if you create those kinds of efficiencies with things that you can't do with traditional manufacturing, what you end up with is worth the extra effort and the longer time frames. So GE is a great example, and they started that in NASA, so the spacecraft industry. It's really moving rapidly into the defense industry. It's been in the medical industry for implants. There's some amazing things going on there. And it's moving into automotive, oil and gas, really any industry you can think of. The hardest part is getting over, is this real, right? And that's what a lot of people say, well, this can't be a solid part. It's actually much denser than a cast part just out of the machine, and it's equivalent to a machine billet part. Doesn't look like that. It's got a little bit of a rough surface with that last little layer they call splash. But you get just below that, maybe 5 microns, 10 microns below that, and you can actually get a mirror finish polish, and you've got a very solid part, sometimes latticed completely through the inside, but just as solid as a billet part. There's an Air Force story I can tell about that, where our fully latticed projectile held up to a solid machined projectile, and we went in an 1.5 inches deeper into a concrete block. It came out straight enough that they could refire out of the cannon. So when people say, is this real? It's very real. Those space parts are not test parts, they're flight parts. We tend to focus on space and defense. There are companies that focus on medical. Those obviously, the medical parts require certain FDA approvals and things that we just didn't focus on. We've stayed focused where we do well. So if you asked me how much money, we're talking tens of billions of dollars in projected revenues over the next, say, 5 years. Not for us, the industry. I mean, it would be nice for us, but.
Are you sure?
Right?
And certainly a big part of the future. I think we've probably got time for 1 or 2 more questions. We'll go all the way in the back. So the question was, what is your current employment level and what are your workforce needs going forward?
We're currently at 14. We were at 17 when we first went into the pandemic. We didn't let anyone go, but just attrition and that kind of thing. We project to grow back up over 20 employees in the next 3 to 6 months. And our workforce needs are, well, we've actually got an intern who just started on our floor. So we have that where we will take somebody and train them into our specific, usually our shop tech positions, our lab tech positions. And then from there, we hire additive engineers. Those are pretty hard to find and recruit. So we often also, we like to grab people straight out of college where maybe they haven't developed a mindset and help train them in additive engineering. And then we have some sales and marketing, those kinds of things.
I think we've probably got time for one more. I saw another hand up here a second ago. Where was that hand? Got the question answered already. Do we have any others out there? Right here, ma'am. The question is, where do you source your material?
We use 3 different powder suppliers. 2 of them are fully domestic. One is a German company that makes our machines, but they also have some domestic powder sources now.
with most of our military contracts and even our ITAR projects, that's a requirement. So, yeah.
Okay, one more. Go ahead. The question was, why did you want to change the world, I believe?
No, I don't want to change the world. I would really like to just be a part of the growth of healthy jobs. And I was in economic development for a very short period of time. So, but I had a perspective on family wage jobs and the ability to really, if you want, to just have a parent at home and a parent working and still have a car and maybe a boat or afford a home and feel safe and secure. And I was seeing that just being offshore. So I was in the 90s was when my career started. And I had this passion for, I want to do something. And this seemed like something real and new and groundbreaking, but also it pays good wages. So that was, I'm not the engineer in the room. I'm the trend forecaster, the person who tells our story really well. I'm just an entrepreneur. That's, yeah.
And indeed you do. John's making a surprise appearance.
Yes, I am going off script, Matt, sorry. So we actually have something we'd like to present to you, Aaron, and each of the companies will get one of these. So in part of your contributions to the community and the jobs that you just talked about and what you contribute in what you do in the facility and how you help up our economic development game. Untie the tongue, all right? The City Council, in partnership with the work that we do, would like to recognize you for being part of the National Manufacturing Day by presenting you a proclamation that the City Council, a couple of Tuesdays ago, dedicated this day, National Manufacturing Day, in support of the companies that are part of our mix.
Thanks.
So glad you're here. Thank you.
You know, she mentioned she's good at telling her story. I think she was right about that one. So thank you so much for being here. Next, we want to tour Rhino Skin Solutions, made for adventure and made from the earth. And of course, all of us love the outdoors here in Central Oregon. Rhino Skin Solutions provides topical performance and recovery solutions for skin, muscles, and joints. Who would have thought there was outdoor gear made here? Yeah, no, I think we all know that the outdoors are a big part of life, but we tend to all overdo it a little bit, and we can use these solutions to help with our sore and worn skin. So let's take a tour of Rhino Skin Solutions.
With a love of rock climbing and a desire for more all-natural products, Justin Brown decided to order some ingredients online and try to create his own version of the skincare products he was purchasing for his adventures.
If you look on the back of any lotion that you're going to get in the grocery store or shampoo or whatever it is, there's all these synthetic emulsifiers and antibacterial agents, and there's just a bunch of stuff that I'm not super excited about putting on my skin or using. And so the driving force behind the creation of this was, let's get rid of all that stuff that we don't like and see if we can make the product in an excellent form of all natural product.
And that's what he did, one bag at a time.
We had Ziploc bags, and so I'd make this small batch of repair in that pot right there. And then I'd put that into Ziploc bags, let those cool on the countertop, and then I'd cut the corner of the Ziploc bag off and pipe it into bottles.
It was a passion project that soon turned into a full-time operation.
We have raw powders up here, willow bark, xanthan gum, magnesium, hyaluronic acid, lemon powder, salicylic acid. We have our bin full of flowers, so that's arnica, helichrysum, chamomile, and then we have some other emulsifiers. So Mike here is making repair cream, and so we get honey from REDI's Harvest in Portland, and it's all raw wildflower honey. This is our repair cream essential oil mixture. These are the powders that go into repair cream, and then our magnesium Epsom salts. So we take grapeseed oil, and I guess these are both grapeseed oil, and the emulsifying waxes and the stearic acid get melted to about 130 degrees, and then that's combined with similar temperature water. Our powders, they go into this big bucket, and here is one of my most proud purchases, our big old stick blender. All of our essential oils are right here, our smaller quantity essential oils. So everything gets combined here. We try and go linearly, and then once the repair cream is made, it goes under this dispenser filling unit. It's all pneumatic, and it just kind of squeezes out the lotion. We used to fill everything while it was hot, but with a 30-gallon barrel, it lowers in temperature as the quantity goes down and time passes. And so we're having to constantly readjust the filling machine. So once everything goes into the bottles, we put lids on. We have all of our lids right here. Some of them are pre-cut into the proper size, but we get to use this machine. This machine is adjustable for different size bottles and whatnot, and then it grabs the cap and puts it on. We used to do all hand tightening, and everything has to go to 35 pounds of pressure. So we were like using a wrench and just hand tightening, and our wrist would hurt, and it was no fun. Yeah. There was one day we got we do like branded bottles, and we got a branded bottle request from Mountain Hardware, and they ordered 2,000. This was while I was still in my house. They ordered 2,000 1-ounce sample bottles. And so it was just me and beer just putting caps on bottles for like what seemed like days on end.
Yeah.
So this is great. We can do, caps a bottle in 10 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever.
Yeah.
Cap bottles, put them through the dishwasher, cleans them, degreases, sanitizes, and then they come down here. And so at the end of the day yesterday, we have some special events going out, and our main advertising and give back to the community is these 1-ounce bottles. And so, yeah, with these machines, I filled and capped 500 bottles in like half an hour. So that was pretty good. So yeah, we put the labels on. Everything goes through the machine. We put the labels on. By hand still, but it's pretty easy. You just go like that. And then we come to our steam machine. We just learned about, we're always looking to make our process better and a little bit more efficient. And so these have perforations, so you gotta kind of line that up. And we just figured out that you can just kind of dip these in hot water and they'll shrink, and then you can put it through the steam machine. So the pre-shrinking kind of anchors the label onto the bottle. They go through the steam machine and they drop into this bin, and they're pretty much done. We put them back onto racks, and then having worked in restaurants previously, I'm a big fan of first in, first out. And so this whole thing is set up to go through the steam machine, and then we just push the racks this way and just rotate stock. And so once that's done, come on over here. Feel like I'm in MTV Cribs. We have all the products lined up here. And this is Miranda's desk. This is where like customer service and shipping happens. And so we print out labels, and she'll put the labels on that desk over there, kind of lay them out. And so yeah, we just pull product from here. These are some new purchases. This thing is amazing. We used to use this to close boxes and pack tape, but now we kind of upgraded into paper tape, and it dispenses it for you, and it's just super easy. And I think it looks a lot nicer. And we got this fancy rhino tape too. Yeah, upgrades all around. Always looking to like make things a little bit more streamlined and look a little nicer.
At their factory in Redmond, the now 3-person operation is taking orders from around the world. Their products currently found in over 200 rock climbing gyms.
We are busier than ever right now. We have a pallet going to Germany, who's a new distributor. We have a pallet going to UK, who's a new distributor, or who's been a distributor for a while. Japan, Singapore, and I think we're picking up like 3 new climbing gyms, which are our primary retail locations. I think we're picking up like 3 a week, 2 or 3 a week. So we're growing fast.
Products ranging from lotion to antiperspirant for your hands to massage cream and even a DEET-free bug spray.
One of our slogans has been Climb, Wash, Rhino, because part of having like healthy skin is keeping it clean. And so we would say you go climbing, you wash your hands, and then you use Rhino Repair, whatever product you want. But we never had that wash part. It was just use water or a soap you can buy somewhere else. And so we just came out with our wash. It's a Castile soap, so it's all plant-based, lots of essential oils. And so that has kind of brought the whole concept together.
With rock climbers all over loving what they're creating in Redmond.
I was a decent rock climber, but wasn't like well known. I wasn't known at all. But now I can go to these events. Like we go to, I don't know, 20 events a year between all of us. Maybe a little less than that. We go to these events and people are like, oh, Rhino, yeah, I love Rhino. And I get to meet people who I would have never met before, both like average climber across the country or pro climbers. And one of our athletes, we had 3 athletes in the Olympics and one of them won gold, Yanya. So that's just like wild when I turn on my computer and I go to answer emails and it's like Yanya and her manager like, hey, can we have a chat? And then it's Shauna Coxey or Colin or Ben Hanna or Alex Johnson. You know, it's just like, in what world is this my like email thread? So yeah, it's pretty neat.
And the thing is, you don't have to be a rock climber to benefit from their creations.
Our products work for everybody. My mom and dad use it. They definitely don't rock climb. My aunt loves it, and they've given it to friends. Any dry, like heels or elbows or hands, works excellent for. If you have like cracks, cracked cuticles in the winter, it works really well. And our antiperspirants work really well for like gamers. So they don't have to let go of their controllers to like, you know, when you get nervous, you have to wipe your hands off. So we're trying to get into the gaming scene and yeah, skiing, tennis, any time you want your skin to be better at whatever, our products will be good. So yeah, anybody.
Justin Brown has made Rhino Skin Solutions his origin story.
All right, we're gonna bring Justin up of Rhino Skin Solutions. You're gonna do a little Q&A up here, Justin, but let me tell you a little bit more. So it's actually him and his wife. Wife's a pharmacist. You used to be a chef? Okay, you failed to mention that earlier. Both avid rock climbers, they joined together to create high-performance skincare for their active lifestyle using earth-grown ingredients. Yeah, and drawn to the proximity of Smith Rock, Justin and his wife Andy made the decision to move their operations to Redmond. So please welcome Justin.
Am I doing the questions again? Sure.
You're so
I don't
good
think I
at
have
it,
the
yeah.
first question. I do want to say thank you. Lauren's been spraying her hands before the morning show. We no longer have that sweaty handprint on the desk.
Nice.
It's really nice.
Thank
They
you.
jokingly tried it, her and Devin, I think, when they visited your place, and they're like, it's like 4 hours later, and my hands dry. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. You're like, why do my hands feel so clean? But they're just like not sweaty and oily.
Interesting. Okay, so who's got a question out there? And once again, I'll repeat it so our folks that are watching virtually can hear it clearly. Here we go, John.
So let's go back to the true origin. Like, where did the first idea hit your head that you're going to create these solutions?
The The reason I decided to try and make all of this is because I was a cook not getting paid much, and I was like, I think I can make all of this for less money than the products I liked. Turns out it costs a lot of money to run a small business. That hypothesis was false, but yeah, so I made a little bit for myself and then gave it to some friends and they liked it, and then I just kept on giving it to them. They're like, we'll pay you for that. And I was like, don't worry. They paid me for the ingredients, and then, yeah, it was like 6 people, 12, 24, and now we are where we are.
Let's go right here.
Looking on the back of other products, and yeah, if you look at the back of one of our favorite products was Avita foot cream, and we used it for our hands and elbows. And even though that says natural or whatever, there's a bunch of ingredients that I thought didn't need to be in there. And so my wife's a pharmacist, great background in chemistry and what everything does. And so I'd just be looking at all these different products and be like, hey, Andy, what does that do? And she'd know exactly what it did. And I was like, that's out. What does this do? That's out. And yeah, so the magic of Amazon, I just got to order whatever products I want, whatever ingredients I wanted in the thing, and then just fiddle around in the kitchen. And then, yeah, over time, the recipes have changed to their current form just to be like more consistent, more stable. But yeah, it's just a lot of research on figuring out what the essential oils do and what the emulsifiers do. Can you get natural emulsifiers or humectants and like antibacterial agents and all that, and how to put them together.
Okay. Oh, good. This one's working. Do we have another question right there in the back? So the question is, where can we buy it?
Right. RhinoSkinSolutions.com is one of the easier ways. In Red Point Climbing Supply in Terrebonne, Bend Rock Gym, The Circuit, Mountain Supply in Bend, and then over 200, probably 300 rock climbing gyms in the United States right now. If you're traveling to the UK, you can get it there, Australia, wherever. Yep.
Right here in the front.
Yeah. Yeah, so the dog line is high 4, like if your dog sits and you go high 4. And so I personally like our high 4 logo better than our Rhino logo. It's made by the same person, but I love wearing the hat. It's super cute. We have 4 products for dogs. We have a balm for their paws if they get cracks, repair cream for older dogs. They get those little sore elbows. Totally heals that up. They grow fur in there again. The snow that was featured up there, it's S capital N capital O W, so it's like no snow. It helps prevent snowballing on dogs. And then the mosquito repellent that we have for humans also is safe and works on dogs. Just to, if you're running, it keeps them out of their ears and whatnot. That is a good market for us, theoretically, but Rhino has been growing so fast, I haven't had a ton of time to put a lot of marketing effort into it. So it's on our website right now, and that's about it. A couple of our distributors carry it as well.
Any other questions out there? We got one right here, George.
What do you see as growth projections?
Gosh, 6 years ago, we started with $5,000, and it has been growing roughly 75% a year. The first few years was like over doubling it. Yeah, gosh, I think we'll probably increase another 75. The pandemic threw it off a little bit. That was pretty much just even Steven. But looking at this year's growth, I think we're looking at another 50, 75%. Yep, we have a long way. If we're in 300 gyms, we can double that in the United States alone, and then our German distributor is going to do all the EU, and so that could easily equal our United States sales.
Incredible. Congratulations. John, you want to come on up? Let's give Justin a big round of applause.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah, just wanted to recognize you like we did I3D with a proclamation. Again, the City of Redmond and REDI thanks you for your contributions to the community. Hopefully you can hang this in your rhino crib.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thanks.
That is the perfect example of taking your passion and turning it into your profession. Very cool. Okay, now for our final tour, and never last but certainly not least, because we've got one of these just a few feet away from my office right now. We're talking about vocal booths, manufacturing state-of-the-art portable vocal booths for sound isolation enclosures that the professional and home recording studios can use and more. Modular by design, vocal booth can operate as an external standalone sound isolation solution. In other words, if you need somewhere in your house to go in and scream really loudly and not bother anyone, you could buy one of these. Or also could be an additional booth for a broadcast studio. We use them. And believe it or not, quiet is a sound too. Let's listen to Vocal Booth.
From their production facility in Redmond, sound booths are created, packaged up, and shipped out, some headed as far as Tokyo. As a singer-songwriter, Calvin Mann had set out to create his own studio, and soon his invention gained attention from others looking for the same solution to in-home recording.
I bought little ads in recording magazines for $75 with the phone number, no picture, and say go to the vocalbooth.com website. Lo and behold, someone bought one. I said, oh crap.
Now I got to make it.
So I just like pulled it all out of thin air and made it go. And it's a great story. And my first customer was in New Jersey.
Evolving from that first delivery, vocalbooth.com offers a variety of sizes. Their newest product is a corner booth that's perfect for in-home voice work, to their largest option where we met for this interview. It's a 16 by 28-foot booth.
So this is our sheet metal department. We have multiple metal parts that we use on our booths. We have a couple press brakes, as you can see in the background. We've got a plasma table, a shear for cutting metal. Kevin is in the back here finishing some of the pieces for the corner angles on our booths. It's been great bringing this in-house. We were subcontracting it out to a couple different suppliers, and now that we have it in-house, it's reduced our cost and increased our ready time on all these different materials. So as you saw, starting with our metal department, it's kind of dirty over there. And our next level of dirty is our wood cutting area, our plywood and particle board cutting area. As I mentioned, we start dirty, and as we go through the factory, it gets cleaner and cleaner. We also make our crates in this area. Again, wood cutting in our crates. Right next to us here is our door making. So let's go look at our door making. So when I started out, we were having another manufacturer make our doors for us and put them in jams. And they were actually based in Redmond, and we were in Bend at that time. They went out of business, and I said, well, how much to buy your door making machine? And again, it was a great deal, and now we have an entire system for making our own doors. We buy jam material, we buy door blanks, and it changed our quality control by 100%. Again, it also changed our on-time delivery of our own doors to ourselves, which solved a lot of problems for us. This is our panel making area. Again, we're getting cleaner and cleaner as we go through the shop. This is where the cut boards are brought in and layering of acoustic materials and exterior and interior fabrics are done here. And from here, they'll go into the assembly area where the booths are put together before we pack them in the crates. We do that to make sure that the quality control is there and they all go together like we like them to go together. So serendipitously, you came to interview on the day that we have our largest, most costly booth assembled and getting ready to be shipped out. It is 16 feet wide, 28 feet long, and 10 feet tall. It also has a partition in this inside that partitions it into a control room and a performance area. This client is a drummer who's building his own private studio for himself and for other artists to come in and perform and record. The O1V room, our new product, ships in just these 4 boxes, or yes, 4 boxes UPS, shows up to your door and you can assemble it in less than an hour. These are our ventilation boxes, or plenums as they're called. They allow air to pass in and out of the booths and they prohibit sound. There's a hose, an insulated hose that attaches to it and abates more sound, and a fan attached to the end of that insulated hose. And it pulls air out of the booth while another box allows air in. The bigger the booth, the more boxes of intake and outtake the booths have. This is what one of the finished doors is starting to look like that Sean puts together for us. The client has ordered a custom color of blue, and then this panel will connect together with other panels to create the full room. We had a niche that we wanted to fill, that we've been wanting to fill for a long time. Our least expensive, completely enclosed vocal booth is around $5,000 shipped to you. And we had people that needed something under $2,000 to acoustically treat a space that they already had. And so we created what we call the O1V booth. And basically, you can put it together in less than an hour. It shows up in 4 boxes, and it solves a lot of problems for a lot of people. We've launched it about 2 months ago, and it's super popular, and we're selling a lot of it.
The first thing you think of is voiceover artists, musicians, and we've got from home studios to pro musicians, to pro studios, to rock stars. You know, I brag Lady Gaga, to Donny Osmond, to Matt Bellamy of Muse. You know, to voiceover artists like the voice of the Geico Gecko has one in his home in London.
One of yours?
Yes, one of ours. So
cool.
Basically, when you're hearing that English lizard voice, yes. he's in one of our booths, and then he emails the tracks to his marketing firm. Nice. So he gets to work at home. But you know, and then over the years, clients would call up and say, "Can we do this? And can you do this?" And I said, "Sure." And then we figure out how to do it.
With more and more unique requests coming in.
We've got a couple that lives on Fraternity Row on a campus and sleep in it.
No.
We have a scientist who's got a fish tank in one, and he does tests and research on fish hearing. The testing fish with hear. And we every few months we get a new application. Someone calls up, "Can you do this for us?"
Even here at Central Oregon Daily, we have a vocal booth. A passion for singing and songwriting that led to a thriving business attracting orders from some big-name stars.
When I started, I was wondering, is this a product? Does it really work? In the very beginning, is it really, you know, is it something? And then once major universities and celebrities like that were coming back and buying again, I realized, okay, this is a real deal.
I think when you can name drop, you know, Donny Osmond and Lady Gaga and Mariah Carey, then yeah, you're probably doing something right.
Yeah, I like to brag. It's fun. And again,
that's cool though. I mean, how cool is that?
And I mean, yeah, you were asking me, well, you know, what's the passion? Well, the passion is, like I said, it's fun. It's something different coming in all the time.
With a true entrepreneur spirit, Mann says it wasn't always easy, but over 26 years, he's created a positive workplace and culture while continuing to work on new products.
What I always like to say is that entrepreneurism is a journey. It's not an idea, a product that you've created and do that. You need to take this path, and along that path, you're going to learn a lot. And at the end of that path, you've got a degree and you're fairly indestructible. But along that journey, there's lots of ups and downs. There were many times where we didn't have any business and there wasn't any money coming in. And I thought, well, maybe this is it. To advise to new entrepreneurs and all, it's like, don't give up. Just take that path. Step off the cliff and going, the universe is going to take care of me if I keep going and I keep learning.
Calvin Mann has made VocalBooth.com his origin story.
I know, I'm still waiting for Lady Gaga's number, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah. Let's invite founder and president of Vocal Booth, Calvin Mann, to the stage. We'll do a little Q&A. Let me tell you a little bit about Calvin, a little bit more. In 1997, he, as a singer-songwriter, he needed more control and sound isolation for his recordings, and living here in Central Oregon with no state-of-the-art recording studio, he did what most driven artists would do. He created his own modular sound room, the first vocal booth out of his garage. So here to tell us more, Calvin. Welcome.
First, I'd like to say I'm in really good company with these other two companies and presenters. Man, they were cool. I thought, cool stuff. And also, I'm a poster child of BBSI, Barrett Business Services. They have helped me from the early times in the beginning. They're my human resources department, so I will give them a big shout out. They're a buffer between me and my employees in a sort of way, and they help keep me up on all labor laws and changes that happen. So, and multiple times throughout our relationship, I've looked at and said, is it a financially viable relationship? Is it worth what we're doing? And it's, when you look at the numbers and look at what they provide, it's reasonable to have them as a partner in your thing. So I've always wanted to say thanks a lot. And also to my wife who's here, Gretchen Weaver, who is my support and my sounding board. And my shamer, she shames me a lot. And as a singer-songwriter, I've got a hit that's going to come out eventually.
You can start singing if you want. Go
ahead. Well, the verse goes, I was a gigolo for a day, but I couldn't make it pay because I kept giving it all away. So just wait for that. I kept giving it all away. Huh? Yeah? Okay.
You can just keep going. This is
sure,
great.
Sure. Are you guys hiring? You guys are hiring, aren't you? No.
Let's go ahead and get to some questions while somebody's waiting to raise their hand here. I will relay one thing. Right when I got hired at Central Oregon Daily News, we had one of these vocal booths sitting there in the newsroom, and we expanded really rapidly, and we got a bunch of new employees, and we're like trying to find desk space for them. And I was like, well, where are we going to put these people? I'm kind of walking around the office trying to find an empty space, and our engineer goes, well, we'll just move the vocal booth. And of course, walking in, never seeing one of these things before, I'm like, how long is that going to take? I got people starting tomorrow, and he just starts going boom, 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 popping all these things off. It took him like 15 minutes to move the vocal booth and 4 days to hook up the computer again. But the vocal booth moved really fast. And not your fault about the grid. What questions do we have out there? Here we go, John. Question is about employment. How many and what your road looks like ahead?
Yeah, we've got 13, counting me, and we've got also a bookkeeper who comes along, and also our accountant who helps us. So I've got a pretty good team. Our factory space we do about $2 million a year, and have been averaging that for a few years now in sales. The building and the space and the amount of employees that it could probably hold, we could probably do another 500,000 before we'd have to start outsourcing or find another building. which would be tough. It's kind of that place in between places as a company. You go, well, you know, if I take this leap, then it's going to be a while that I have to, that it's going to take to pay for that leap. And so we'll see how it goes. We're such a niche product, we can't go to like a trade show where there's, you know, 5,000 people all looking for the same kind of product. So we have to be pretty resourceful in how we market. This new product that you saw that we're talking about, it's a $1,500 corner booth that you go in. It's got an open side. And it's cool in that it's our first product that you can actually just click online and order it without talking to us. And so that gives us another opportunity to put ourselves out there on the Shopify. You know, when you look on Google, you see you Google what you're looking for, and across the top comes a bunch of manufacturers or sellers who are selling that product you're interested in. That's called the Shopify click and buy. And so that puts us up there. But our market is tough, so it's hard to figure out. Sometimes we wonder how we put ourselves out there, have we saturated ourselves out there, and this is what it's at. So we are growing incrementally every year. Where we'd have a big leap is if we had, you know, a government contractor come in and said, I want 100 of these. We are currently in talks with Amazon. I probably shouldn't be talking about it, I don't know. But they're going to require some of their vendors to do testing of some of their products, and they want them all to have the same testing atmosphere, so that we require their vendors or their sellers to buy the product from us. And so it's darn. But we've got some really great relationships, and our bread and butter are deep pocket people like Intel and Microsoft, Apple. We shipped to China. Yay! We're shipping to China. No, we're not all. It's not all coming here. We made these testing boxes for iPhones. So we shipped 10 of them to China, and they're doing probably speaker and microphone tests inside of them and such. So. Again, lots of different applications. We're getting all the, you know, and a real diverse client base. Barring bad business decisions, my business is kind of bulletproof in the sense that my client base is so diverse and my applications are so diverse that there's always something that my company can pick up. During the pandemic, our big deep pocket clients kind of went dormant because they couldn't accept stuff into their buildings. They had to kind of put their plans on hold. But our smaller clients picked up. People who couldn't go to their recording studios and their marketing firms. Well, I'm going to put their whole recording studio in my space, and so they helped us stay at our $2 million mark versus losing business like a lot of the other pandemic.
Other questions out there? Here we go. So
we started in Bend with EDCO. Oh, sorry.
I'm just going to repeat it for anyone that's watching online. The question is, how has REDI impacted your business?
We started in Bend and with EDCO, which is the brother-sister organization to REDI. And so they were really instrumental in helping me grow and learn a lot, and my company learn a lot. They helped us get into lean manufacturing classes. Helped us meet other businesses and other resources within the community. Again, as I talked about, my mantra is if you're an entrepreneur, you don't just get $100,000 and start a business and hope it's going to work, because in a year everything could be gone if you don't have the chops and you don't have some basis for business. So it's always best to start with a low startup and low overhead. I mean, I'm just repeating what other business consultants talk about. Low startup and low overhead, and take a journey. You're going to take a path, and it's going to take time, and you're going to learn stuff. And you may fail. You never fail. You just learn that there's, you just find that there was a better direction you should have gone. But you just stay with it, and you just keep taking the knocks and learning as you go, and eventually that was where my journey was. Eventually I came to this point where I thought of the idea of Vocal Booth, and it took off. So, and REDI has helped here too. When I moved to Redmond, has helped me John Stark helped introduce me to a lot of people in town, and they're so gracious here. The Redmond community and the Redmond, the support groups in here are so gracious and so helpful, and they just bend over backwards to do whatever you need. And I'm, I reciprocate and say, hey, whatever you guys need, I'm here for you too. Fun story early on. Tom Bodette, the voice of the Motel 6 client, early client on with us, has one of our vocal booths in his home that he does. He records his spots and his own projects. He's got books and all kinds of things he does. So we're emailing back and forth, and Tom says, "And Calvin, there is a light in this booth, right?" And I said, "Tom, please forgive me, but I'm here chuckling to myself that Tom Bodette is writing me, making sure there's a light in his booth that he can leave on." And he says, don't worry about it, Calvin, because that's about the 7th joke I get every day on leaving a light on. So it's a fun business in that, we've got, there's always something new, and we get interesting clients and new things. And again, my mantra as an entrepreneur and the business person, again, low startup, low overhead, take that journey. It's not thinking of a great idea and making it happen. You really need to embody what an entrepreneur is over a period of time. And also, once you have a company, to take care of your employees and really, be a smart company, because companies, what makes people want to come back to work is if they're working for a smart company that does smart stuff, and they're proud of that, and they feel good, and they feel like they're taken care of because the company's smart and knows to take care of them, and pay them as much as you can, and give them as much benefits as you can, give them as much paid time off as you can. One, because it's the right thing to do, and one, it makes your company better, it makes it flow better, smoother. The more problems you have, the harder it is for your company. You don't want to be going backwards.
That's an incredible message right there. Take the journey. I think, actually, let's get John up here for one more. If you have, invariably, we weren't going to get to every question, so if you have questions, I think these folks are probably kind enough to hang around for a bit and answer some of your questions in person.
So again, Calvin, just want to recognize you with Redmond Economic Development City Council as part of our manufacturing mix of businesses here and your contributions to creating jobs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Please leave the light on for us.
I feel like we should keep you up here to sing us off stage at the end.
Sure.
I mean, that would be great. So thank you to Calvin. Thank you to everyone who came here today. Thank you for you folks for coming up and talking to us about your companies as well. I've certainly learned a lot as we've been here.
Yeah, we have to recognize a few more sponsors. Supporting sponsor Ben Broadband, Columbia Bank, Republic Services, Eberhardt's Dairy Products, Deschutes County Title Company, Veloc Systems, Central Electric Cooperative, Food and Beverage Partners, Treasure Valley Coffee Company, keeping us fueled up, and also the yummy Grab and Go Brunch from Ben Burrito Company, and of course our venue partner, High Desert Music Hall.
Also, not only BBSI, not am I only a poster child of BBSI, but also Columbia Bank. Taylor Thompson over there helped me buy the building here in Redmond and made it really easy, and pretty much saved my life.
I think anyone you've ever worked with wants you on the mic more often, is I think what's going to happen. Hey, thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you. Please join Lauren and I for Good Morning Central Oregon. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm sleeping in. We're on at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. on ABC and CBS. Thanks to Matt Hand for doing his great work as usual, keeping all of this stuff working. And you'll probably never see him, but Devin Carroll filmed all of these and put them together, and I think he was working pretty late into the night, so thank you to him as well. Thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful day.
Yay!